Okay, so to start our value scale, which we have on here, what I need you to do is you're just going to label, you're going to start off with 0, and then you're going to just have some nice spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then make sure that you put your name somewhere on here. So I'm going to write Mrs. Holland, because our scales are all going to look very similar. All right, so to make our value scale, we're going to be going, 0 is going to be our white, and then the 10 is going to be pure black. So to make value, you're going to be starting with creating shades, and that's what we're going to be working on, is making shades. So with your brush, what you're going to do is, you don't want to take a lot because we're just doing tiny little bits of squares. I'm just going to take a little bit of white paint, and I'm going to paint directly, just a little bit, because we don't want it a lot on our paper. Alright, so I was recording my video and then it decided to stop recording, so I apologize. I'm going to show you where we left off. So this is as far as I gotten. But where we were, you had painted a little square on your area of the white paint. So what I wanted to show you, just because I know it's harder to see, is that this is just the size I was going for. Nothing big, just a little bit. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a scoop of white paint and you're going to place it on a spot in your paper. So maybe take like 2 scoops of white paint, because we're going to use the same spot the entire way, as you can see what I was starting with. So then what you need to do is you're going to just gently dip just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of black, and you're going to mix it in your white. And we're creating shades. Now it's easier to make something darker. It's very hard to make something lighter. So I'm going to put my gray that I just created right here under the number 1. And then I need to slowly work my way up to black. So 0 is going to be my white, and the number 10 is going to be pure black. And we're going to make many different shades of gray. So to get the next spot, I'm going to do a tiny little bit of black, and I'm going to mix it. And you know, I realize I probably used too much. So if I did, I'm going to take some white and I'll mix it back in, and that'll help. And then I'm going to do my next shade. So you can see you don't want to go drastic. You want it to go nice and slow. It's just a tiny shade darker. And I'll do the same step again. I just take a little bit of black, I mix it in here, just a spot of it, and then I go on my paper. And it's a little bit darker. And we keep doing the same step, a little bit of black, mix it in, and paint it. So I want you to try to keep going and get all the way up to the pure black at the end, where you just literally paint the black on the number 10. And just keep slowly adding your blacks. Now you can always check, like, am I getting darker? If I'm not getting darker, you can always add a little bit more black just to see that slow progression. Like sometimes these, you know, here look very similar, so maybe I'll add a little bit more black in, and then I'll paint over my little spots, and then I'll help make it a little bit darker. Yeah, that one changed it just a little bit, which helped. So take my black, might add a little bit more. Nice and darker. My 9. And then 10 is pure black. Right? So maybe at the end here I'm looking, my 9 could be darker. So I might paint it a little bit darker. And my 8 could be a little darker too. Not exactly the same, and that helps just a little bit more, right? Okay. So you could just see that transition, that nice transition as it goes. I probably put a little bit too dark in this spot, so I'm going to make it lighter on the side here. Oops. There we go. That's better. Yep. I feel a little better about that one. Okay. Yay. So once you're done with that, your nice value scale, I'll show you the next step.